Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
All right, and before we talk about these three films that we've selected, do either of you want to talk about anything you've watched recently?
I haven't watched much. I think the last thing I watched was Tremors 6. I started those again.
Yes. How was that one?
It was okay. More of the same. It's pretty much people shooting at dirt at this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've only seen like the first one or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get any better.
Yeah, the first two are the best. I've seen at least one of the sequels. I think the third one, and I may have seen the fourth one, but if I did, I don't remember it. So
Yeah, they're pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
Did either of you watch Mortal Kombat?
Not yet.
I want to.
I saw it last night.
Nice.
Or yesterday, yeah. Sometime over this weekend I saw it, yeah. It was decent, not bad.
Cool.
You know, what you expect.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people are nitpicking it. Like, it's got to be better than the 90s stuff. Come on.
Yeah. If you just want to go in watching some gory fights and, you know, that kind of shit, yeah. I mean, the plot obviously sucks ass, but what do you expect?
It's Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I grew up with the first two, and I remember liking both of them, but I'm sure if I watch them today, they'll be embarrassing. But you know, I'm still a part of me, I think, will always be nostalgic for them. You know.
Well, we got Annihilation on the worst 100, so.
Oh, it
wonderful.
is on there. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out, but I guess I just missed. I guess.
Splendid. All right, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I'm looking forward to rewatching that one because, like, even though I liked it when I was a kid, when I watched, like, I've kind of gone back and watched some clips of it on the internet, and I don't know, it doesn't look like it aged very well. So
I remember it being the first, like, you know, as a kid, you like all movies basically you watch. I remember that being the first one. I was like, oh wait, this sucks. I remember it distinctly.
Yeah, I think I watched that one like 4 or 5 times. I think I showed it to my cousin. I was like, "Oh, check! You got to see Mortal Kombat Annihilation." He was like, "Okay, sure, whatever."
Yeah.
And
I also watched some David Lynch films. I watched Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive. Yeah. I liked Blue Velvet a lot. That one was really good.
Yeah.
Mulholland Drive was meh.
Mulholland Drive is an interesting one because, like, there comes a point in that movie, like, I think it's like about like at like the hour 40-minute mark, hour 30, where suddenly like all the characters' names change and like their identities get all switched around, and then like it just gets like really hard to follow after that. Like
it's like at the 2-hour mark. It's a 2.5-hour movie. And then at the 2-hour mark, he does that, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that movie gets messed up. I like it now. The first time I watched it, I was really confused by it, though. And when I rewatched it, I was like, "Okay, now I kind of get what they're going for." You know, now I love it. Like it's a movie that I think had to kind of grow on me. You know, Blue Velvet. I remember the first time I watched that, I was very overwhelmed. I was very overwhelmed by it. You know?
Yeah, that one was wild. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like Mulholland Drive, but I did like Blue Velvet a lot. So maybe I'll have to watch the other one. But it's so long, Mulholland Drive.
It's daunting. Yeah. It's I feel like Mulholland Drive is kind of I don't know. I feel like it's kind of touching on a couple different things at once. It's definitely, I mean, it's intended to be a pretty like, it's intended to be something of an anomaly, I guess, but there are a lot of heady aspects to it though that are pretty hard to get into. So, although it's not his most challenging movie.
Yeah, no, that was straightforward until like the end.
Yeah.
And I liked just Dennis Hopper and fucking Blue Velvet was amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes of that was, what do you drink, buddy? A Heineken. Heineken? Fuck that shit. Paps Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, and he's like sucking on the ether and all that shit. Yeah, it was really intense. I mean, his performance in that movie was like almost like performance art. Like it was, he just kind of entered into his own universe. It was
so fucking good.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And I remember one of my friends had a shirt of Blue Velvet. It was like a picture of him with the gas mask on, and it says on the top, "Don't you fucking look at me."
Nice.
I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you bought that shirt."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a great film. I love that movie. But yeah, it's definitely messed up. I finished all the Best Picture nominees. So
shit, look at you.
Yeah, I'd say overall, like, kind of a crummy lineup. Like most of these movies were just okay. The only two that I really thought were like anything exceptional was Judas and the Black Messiah and The Father. And then I thought Chicago 7 was pretty good, but I didn't like how like there was like a lot of humor in it. It just seemed sort of at odds with what the movie was about. You know, I just found it kind of distracting. Like, I don't know. I don't, maybe it's like personal preference. Like, I guess a lot of people like humor these days, which is understandable. So, but it just didn't feel right to me, I guess. So, but The Father was really good. I would recommend that one. So,
Totally forgot to catch up on those.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of them.
it's just not the greatest year.
They're going on tonight, right? Isn't it tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I already know how they're gonna go. Like Soul is probably gonna win Best Animated Picture.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then like as far as the documentary category is the only one I care about because my Octopus Teacher, I really love that movie. But although I heard Commission was really good, so I might watch that one. And I think that also got Best Foreign Film nominee or Best Foreign Language Film. I guess it's what's the title that category is called. But Another Round is probably going to win that one. Yeah, I don't know, just not the most interesting Oscars this year. I didn't really like Mank. I didn't really like Nomadland. I didn't really like Promising Young Woman. Sound of Metal was decent. Yeah, I mean,
Minari. That's the one. That's the only one I wanted to see.
Oh yeah, Minari's worth seeing too. Actually, that one's good too. I think it had. How do I put it? There was one character that I was a little puzzled by, but I don't really want to spoil it. Like, I think you should probably watch the movie first. You might know what I mean when you watch it. So, yeah, no, Minari I would say is worth seeing, but yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't crazy about this year's movies, so they definitely weren't as good as last year's. So.
Yeah, well, it was a weird year for movies. So.
Yeah. And then I've been trudging through Andy Milligan's filmography. And that's been pretty painful. So
I saw your Letterboxd stuff.
Yeah, I watched Guru the Mad Monk this morning. I forgot to put that one on. So they're pretty awful. Like it's obvious that he definitely like was more of a theater director, because he definitely doesn't know how to direct a movie. It like even his editing is hard to look at. Like I think honestly, like I think the Ghastly ones in particular, I think I spotted a goof or a continuity error or some problem in either every shot or almost every shot. I mean, they're super incompetent. It's like unbelievable how bad they are. I think my favorite so far might be Guru the Mad Monk, because that one's only like 56 minutes.
Nice.
It's a
But
plus.
man, those 56 minutes though are punishing. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend his movies unless like you're curious about really screwed up films.
I still got the box set to go through, so
Yeah, I would definitely take your time. I'm not taking my time, and I really wish I did, because I think that, like, I don't know, they've grown on me a little too much. I think, like, I watched this one, The Rats Are Coming, The Werewolves Are Here, which is just awful, just so awful. Like, the werewolves don't even show up until like the last 10 minutes, maybe even the last 8 minutes, like possibly. Most of the movie is just like a really screwed up family drama about like torture and incest and stuff. It's awful. And then there's a subplot about this girl who like tortures mouse at one point, and then she goes and gets a bunch of rats, and then she gets bitten by one of them, and then she gets mad and decides to return them to this guy who she bought them from. It's like this crusty, creepy guy who lives in this smelly looking shack, and he gets all mad at her, and they get into a fight, and then I think she accidentally like burns his house down and kills him. Like, I don't
Jesus.
remember exactly. They're just so awful.
Wow.
And they're really confusing too. I mean, just yeah. Although that one I'd say is worth seeing, because Andy Milligan actually shows up in it, and he's an interesting actor to say the least. So. All right. Anyway, so I guess we should jump right into these choices now. So we're gonna start with mine, which was Mikadroid Robokill beneath, not under, beneath Disco Club Layla. So I had to kind of practice it in the mirror a few times. So
it is quite the name.
Yeah.
yeah, it really is. So the reason I chose it was pretty much based on because of the title. Like, I was like, with a title like that, there's no way it could be bad. And like, I won't say that it's good exactly. Like, it's kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of different ideas that we've seen in other movies, you know, like Hardware and Terminator 2 and 1, and just a lot of other stuff, RoboCop. It's basically like okay, it kind of starts off sort of like it kind of has like almost like an avant-garde like documentary sort of style, where it's showing this backstory involving another situation in which the government is experimenting on soldiers.
Yeah, World War II shit.
Yeah, you know, pretty classic trope. Although I will say the World War II setting that's kind of different. Although, I mean, Japan was pretty heavily affected by World War II, so it's understandable like why they would actually want to maybe touch on that. And actually, I think this was released by Toho, from what I understand.
Yep.
So this is familiar territory for them. What was that? Or I thought one of you said something. Anyway, so basically, like this, so they there's like there's this whole situation in which they're developing like a super soldier, which is like a combination of soldier with robot parts and robot sort of fusions, I guess you could call them. And it's kind of showing that sort of desperate situation, which of course, you know, predictably goes wrong. And it's kind of very briefly kind of summarized in the beginning. And then it jumps to the main setting of the film, so basically it jumps ahead several decades. And this military complex is pretty much, it's underground, obviously. And above it, they've built a disco club, which is probably not an ideal location for that.
I got
Um,
the. I figured it was like a hidden place they didn't know about while building, like a Indian burial ground or something.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's like a bunker it's like a pretty cavernous type of it kind of reminded me of like Day of the Dead or something like that. Just the whole hiding underground aspect to it. So like they have this secret bunker where they can conduct whatever kind of experiments or whatnot they can, you know, conjure up. But of course time has passed and there's a party going on upstairs at the disco club, which I was hoping there would be more of in this
Yeah,
movie. You
that's
know,
what I was gonna say too. I thought there would be more of that shit, but no.
yeah, like I was hoping that there would be some kind of like cheesy, sleazy type of stupid, like crappy thing where like people are wearing dumb clothes and listening to shitty music or something. Like I thought it'd be kind of funny, but it ended up just kind of being like your standard disco club where people are in a room, they're dancing around, there's some lights, and like that's kind of it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. So that's whatever, I guess. Not much of a novelty there, but you know, doesn't really matter because pretty soon one of the I think the main one that they were sort of engineering has escaped surface level and just starts pretty much you know, detonating everybody, or not detonating, but just blasting everyone in sight, which there's sort of a car park location underneath the disco club, which again, not a very convenient place to put a car park, but whatever. I mean, I guess maybe it was attached to the actual military complex, so I guess it doesn't really ultimately matter. Some people get massacred. A couple of characters that we don't really know a whole lot about other than they're pretty much paired up. They end up sort of getting sort of wrapped into this whole situation. And they're the ones that end up finding the entrance. Let's see. There were some interesting little death scenes early on. One kid gets blasted while he's on a skateboard. Which was pretty funny.
Yeah, his dead body just keeps rolling along, standing still.
Yeah.
90s movie staples, just skateboarding kids.
Yeah. And you know, much like in Body Melt, this skateboarding kid gets massacred pretty hard. So that's pretty funny. Let's see. There was one involving that girl who, like, she gets all chopped up, her clothes fall off, and then she collapses against the wall. It's kind of artistic.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
Because there was like a painting, like a regular painting of like people holding like character, like stick figures holding hands and dancing or whatever.
Yeah.
She like slapped herself to make like the last link in it or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a peace on earth symbol that she decided to contribute to using her own blood, I guess.
Yeah. I laughed at that part.
Yeah, that was great. I got a kick out of that. Yeah, so some creative death scenes. The main girl mostly just screams her head off. Doesn't really do a whole lot else.
And the main guy, he like got shot early on from like, but he was limping the whole time, even though he was like shot in his shoulder. I was like, why are you limping, man? You just got shot in the shoulder.
His blood was everywhere, all over his arm. Like it was not a light wound by any means. He was like, oh.
Yeah, he was complaining the whole time.
Yeah, about how much pain he was in. You know. Let's see. Oh yeah, then they start encountering some people that are already down there, although they turn out not to be people. It's like I don't know. I don't really even know what they were going for. It kind of reminded me of the movie Virus a little bit, like, except the robots aren't like wearing. Well, I mean, the robots have already become equipped with the human endoskeleton, whereas in Virus they were trying to find them, which is actually a really disgusting idea now that I think about it. But in this movie, there's like there's actually one kind of creepy effect where one of them has like a meltdown and its face sort of gets all weird looking.
Yeah, it was like claymation shit.
Yeah. I'm always into those kinds of things. Let's see. Eventually, the actual Killbot, the Mikadroid, I guess it is, more or less meets its match against another robot with more of a human sort of quality.
What I gather, it was there were three of them in the
Yeah.
original. They were like they were Olympians, training to be Olympians, and World War
Yeah.
II happened, so they were getting experimented on because they were physical specimen. But the actual robot was the only one that got stuff implanted, while the other ones just got like, I don't know, drugs and shit that made them not age or anything.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I think I was confused about that. So, but that actually makes more sense. So, and that would also explain why at the end he ends up kind of sacrificing his life. Which, spoiler, the movie ends with the non-human entity, or barely human entity, I guess in this case.
Super soldier.
Yeah, the super soldier sacrificing his life for the good of humanity. Which I don't really even understand why he did, because humanity kind of screwed him over, but whatever. The other two characters end up kind of not really doing much else other than chilling.
No, they just ran away the whole time.
Yeah. And then at the end, they've gone homeless and destitute, I guess.
I don't know. They're just chill. They just took a seat on the curb outside of the club and smoked a cig.
Yeah, and they're shivering and smoking a cigarette, and they're like, oh, and they looked like they were homeless for some. I was like, what in the world?
They just saw some shit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they were they experienced shell shock. I don't know. I thought the movie was fine. Like, it was dumb as hell, but I expected no less. It was short enough that like it didn't feel like it was trying to be anything spectacular. I kind of got the sense that there's probably a lot of these movies, like probably dozens of these sort of Killbot themed films from Japan that came out in the late 80s, early 90s, because I was scrolling through a list of them.
Hour-long ones, because it was just like an hour, 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, like I was seeing, and some of them I've actually seen, like I've seen Gunhead, which I think I've mentioned this before, but the trailer for Gunhead is better than the actual movie Gunhead. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And there's some others that kind of came out around this time too. So I think this movie was like another that was kind of got swept up in that craze. But I mean, this one has a little bit more of an interesting title. Doesn't really use its premise to much of an advantage. It's not really as campy as it could have been. But I was entertained. I mean, it's always interesting to see a movie from Japan that kind of tries to do this sort of thing. And I also did kind of like the atmosphere it had. Like, it was sort of a slick, kind of empty, but yet at the same time kind of stylish feel. I mean, it was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I expected a little more to happen, but
yeah,
it was still well paced for the hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also expecting it to be another like Japanese splatter fest, but
yeah, like the other two we watched. Yeah, I was too. Yeah.
me as well. I was hoping there would be more gore. Like, there were some decent little moments here and there, but nothing really spectacular or epic. It was mostly just like, I don't know, the part with the guy getting shot on the skateboard was probably my favorite. That was some good squib act. That was like Robocop style, like type of stuff. That looked pretty cool. Looked pretty painful.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for the actor. Because that couldn't have felt very good. It's like getting punched in the chest. It was like just cool. Yeah, like, it was not as entertaining as I was expecting, but at the same time it was entertaining enough, like, that I didn't feel super dissatisfied or anything. Like, yeah.
I hear, yeah.
Yeah.
It was over quick.
Yeah. It was generally pretty painless.
Mhm.
And I got my Mikadroid, I got my Disco Club, and I got my Robokill that happened to be beneath the Disco Club. And also, I gotta admit the club name Layla, like, kind of memorable,
Yeah.
So,
Well,
although I was expecting strippers. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty tame club.
Yeah.
I was
It
expecting it to get up to the club at some point too. but-
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. But
Oh
no,
yeah, that would have been,
it was only beneath.
yeah, strictly beneath.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely no pretensions in the title, no lies. So I got what I didn't pay for because I watched it on YouTube, unfortunately.
That was the only
Sorry.
way I could find it.
Yeah.
I grabbed the DVD.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, good.
Nice.
You've made it. You made it up. You made up the difference. Yeah, I'd give it like a 2 or a 3. Like, it was not spectacular, but it wasn't bad either. So
Yeah, I gave it a 2.5.
I'd give it a 2.
yeah, pretty solid Killbot movie.
Yeah.
If that's your thing. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't think of a segue into the next one, so I'll just ask you what your pick was.
Doing mine, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I chose another video game movie, Double Dragon.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah. I did not remember it being as bad as it was. But
I didn't remember that I saw it before, but then I was watching this. I was like, wait, I have seen this movie.
Yeah, I've definitely seen this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, when did you first watch this? Do you remember?
probably in the 90s. I don't remember when.
Okay. Yeah, I think I rented it when I was like, I don't know, and sometime in the 90s. Yeah.
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 And I probably really enjoyed it in the 90s. But
Yeah.
like you said, Nick, as a kid, you just like everything you watch.
Yep. This would be one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, interestingly enough, I remember thinking that I remember enjoying this, but I didn't remember anything about it though. Like, I just remember seeing it and liking it, but that's kind of what I remember about the Street Fighter the movie as well. I remember seeing it and I remember liking it, but then sometime later I rewatched Street Fighter the movie and it was terrible, and I was like, yeah, I don't like this anymore. Double Dragon is more or less, the same kind of case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to read the plot summary?
Yeah. All right. So Koga Shuko, a crime lord and businessman, explains to his underlings about a powerful magic medallion called the Double Dragon, which has been split into 2 pieces. He obtains one half and orders his henchmen to find the other for him. And this is Robert Patrick, by the way.
Yes, who, if you were hoping that he would top his performance in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, spoiler alert, he doesn't.
No.
At all.
No. Teenage brothers Billy and Jimmy Lee and their guardian / adoptive mother Satori Imada. I didn't catch that she was their adoptive mother, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they certainly didn't talk about her like she was their mother.
I
They
thought she
mostly
was just a
kinda
friend.
complained about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the picture that she was at least some type of legal guardian or something.
Yeah, I think there was a moment in the movie where somebody says something like, your friend or your mom or whoever she was or something like that. Like I forget who said it might have been Alyssa Milano. I don't remember, but because she was saying all kinds of weird crap in this movie, so who even knows? But like I do remember there was that line, and I do also remember thinking like, okay, well, early on in the movie, I remember thinking like, okay, why is she sort of in charge? Like, what is? I guess she's their leader, or did she train them, or did she like? I couldn't figure out if she. I thought she was their teacher at first, actually, and then I realized they were brothers, and it's like, so why is she teaching two brothers and nobody else? Like, I don't know. And then yeah, eventually I figured it out, and then I think Alyssa Milano or somebody said something else, and I was like, okay.
I at first thought she was like the same age as them,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
then it was like because they somehow at some point mentioned like your father told me to take care of you, and then I noticed, oh wait, she has like a little gray streak in her hair, and I think that just signifies that she's an old lady. Just little,
yeah, like and they only had like
gray.
the shot that they had of it was it was a kind of awkwardly long shot where I was like, okay, is the white hair supposed to mean something? Like
that she's old. I think that's all it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at all.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so they head home after citywide curfew from a martial arts tournament. On their way, they are accosted by gang members who rule the streets after dark due to an uneasy pact made with the police department to keep them from running amok during the day.
Oh yeah, what year does this take place during? It was like 2007, I think.
2007. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, which of course this was made in the early 90s, so that's we got to keep in mind like things didn't quite work out the way they did in this movie.
Yeah.
They came close, but didn't quite work out this way. Madonna did not marry Tom Arnold.
No.
And Andy Dick did not become a weatherman or whatever the fuck he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And Vanna White, no, she's still doing Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. This is some pretty strange casting, I must admit. Like,
Yeah.
could have only been done in 1990. What, 1993? Did this movie come? 1994? I don't even remember.
Yeah, 94.
Okay. So it was after 92. So it wasn't the same year as Last Action Hero.
They escape with the help from the Power Corps, a group of vigilantes headed by their friend Marion Delaro, daughter of the police chief. Unfortunately, what's that?
Oh, I don't remember. I think I was gonna say something, but I remember now. So the fight scenes in this movie kind of annoyed the crap out of me, I gotta say. Like because
they weren't good.
every time it looked like one of the characters was gonna hit the other character in a way that like looked like it was gonna hurt, it cut away and didn't show the impact. It kept on like cutting around the impacts. It made me so mad. There was one part where like the guy threw like the biggest kick and you didn't even get to see it. It was like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? And
the only one that seemed like they had fighting experience was Mark Dacascos.
Yeah, pretty much. And actually I've seen him in a few movies like this. There was like Crying Freedman, and then
he's in John Wick 3.
Yeah, him. Yeah, okay, yeah, John Wick 3, and then one of my favorite bad movies, which I'm one day I'm gonna choose for this show. I think Brotherhood of the Wolf. That movie has some awesome martial arts from him in it. But then Scott Wolf is the brother, which is an unusual casting because I tend to think of Scott Wolf as sort of like a 90s heartthrob type person who, like, I don't know, just it's like casting one of the Power Rangers as a double dragon. Like, it just seemed strange, or like a Saved by the Bell character. I just was confused.
Yeah.
So And I like Scott Wolf. I've liked him in pretty much everything I've seen him in, but it just didn't make sense for him to be cast in this movie in basically the lead role, because pretty much the one that gets everything. I mean, he doesn't get everything done, but he's the one that gets the ball rolling most of the time. So,
And he has the hero moment at the end.
yeah, which sucked, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, Bo Abobo, a gang leader, discovers Satori holds the second medallion half and reports this to Shuko. For his failure in securing it, he is mutated into a hulking giant, which looked ridiculous.
Yeah, just look like a big old nutsack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like uncomfortably rubber. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was hard to look at. Actually, that was one thing I did remember about this movie was the fat, gross, greasy looking dude. Like that, I mean, an image like that when you're a kid, like that gets branded on your brain. And so yeah, that was something I did remember. And then the other thing I remembered was the wait, what's the main girl's name? Not the main girl, the girl who's their teacher / mother.
Satori.
Satori. She was probably my favorite part of this movie. You know, so you can imagine just how much of a downfall this movie took after what happens next happens. But go on.
At their abandoned theater home, Satori explains to a skeptical Billy and Jimmy about the double dragon and how their piece must be protected, and she places it in the care of Billy. Shuko, with his henchmen in tow, pays the Lees a visit, intent on taking their other half. He reveals the ability of his medallion, the power of the soul, which gives the user power of possession and a shadow form by temporarily possessing Satori. And that looked pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, Robert Patrick, I guess he's really into playing roles where he gets to transform into stuff. Because in this movie, he changes into like a stupid looking flat cardboard, like Nightmare on Elm Street 5 / Young Sherlock CGI monstrosity that just looks like crap. I'm sorry. It was like the ugliest looking CGI.
When it like folded down, it was like kind of looked like a Gumby.
Yes, I agree. It just like Robert Patrick's face, it was just like it just started stuttering and looking all foolish and dumb. Like I was just like, wow, no thanks. You know, I would hate to watch this movie in soap opera mode, like because I don't have that kind of TV. But you know, when it looks all soap opera, like you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, high refresh rate.
Yeah, there you go. I think this movie would probably give me a migraine if I saw it in that sort of like, I don't know. Ugh.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I watched this on Blu-ray with the subtitles, and the subtitles are so awful on the Blu-ray. It like skipped whole sentences and stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was so bad.
All right. Good to know.
I watched it on Amazon Prime. I think they were fine.
I watched it on VHS because my dad had the VHS.
Nice.
Nice.
I found
Damn.
it in one of his crates. I'm like, oh, sweet. Here we go. That's how I watched it. I thought I rented it, but yeah, it turned out, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I figured it probably would be better to watch it on VHS anyway, because I have a feeling that the costumes and the CGI probably look really bad and in good quality. It's just sort of a suspicion I have, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did the Blu-ray look okay?
Yeah. I mean, you could see too much detail, but
yeah. Yeah.
the shitty costumes and
yeah. It's the type of movie where the worse quality you watch it in, the better the movie is, I think.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, because at least you don't have to look at Scott Wolf and Alyssa Milano like cringing as they say their embarrassing dialogue. That actually some of the things the characters say in this movie sound like they were mistranslated or something. Like it just the way some of the characters talked in this movie didn't sound natural. Like the inflections they used and stuff. Like they would say they would just emphasize things in a weird way. There was one example in particular, but I don't remember what it was now. But like it was something she said at some point. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway,
I looked up the director. He's mainly a music video guy, so maybe that's why. Doesn't know how to direct actual dialogue.
Yeah, it was a paycheck director, I guess. Like maybe. I don't know. Like I don't really understand the rationale in hiring a music video director to direct a martial arts movie.
I don't know. I guess that was a thing in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, was this even a martial arts movie now that I think about it? Like,
yeah.
Kind of.
Argue the case, maybe.
Yeah.
But
But before rewatching, I would have said yes, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's in my martial arts section on my collection, but I don't know if it deserves to be there.
I mean, it's based on a video game where you beat people up and there's not a whole lot of fighting in it. Like there's only maybe about 4 fight scenes. Or 4.5. I'll give them some credit. Although, well, okay, we'll get to that, but whatever. Yeah, I think we could argue the case that that this falls more into the comedy category than martial arts. So
Yeah. I don't even think it was trying to be comedy.
Oops.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Wikipedia says American martial arts film.
Okay, well, I guess that's what it is.
All right. Okay.
Can't argue with Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay. Billy and Jimmy successfully incapacitate a Bobo, but Shuko has the place doused in gasoline and lit on fire. Satori sacrifices herself so the brothers can escape with the dragon.
Which she didn't even need to do.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense.
No,
Mhm.
not at all.
And it literally didn't help anybody.
No.
Nope.
It was barely their inspiration.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what makes me even more mad about it is the fact that she kills herself immediately after the 2 brothers had just wasted a shit ton of time rescuing her.
Yeah. They took a long time. Like she was caged up and they took a long time trying to get her out of that thing.
Yeah, which was awful. That annoyed me so much because
And she did most of the work too. She's
Yeah,
the one that kicked it out.
pretty much. Like they were kind of useless for the most part.
Yeah.
And then she's the one who ends up busting down the lock, which the lock didn't even look that big. Like I didn't even get what they were. And then also like the Bobo character, like they incapacitated him with literally a punching bag. So we're supposed to believe that this gang member who just got like 10 times as many steroid injections as he ordinarily administers to himself, we're expected to believe that literally just a punching bag can knock him out. Like that's just ridiculous. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then of course, like there's this whole thing where she gets kidnapped temporarily and locked in a cage. The place gets set on fire. They spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to get her out, and then eventually they get her out. And then just as they're about to leave, she slams the door, locks herself in, and decides to take on Robert Patrick by herself, which she doesn't do because then the place blows up. And like, it was just a useless character at that point. Like up until this point in the film, like and also like they complain about the fact that she didn't provide them any information until like the day before she died. And honestly, that's a good
fair.
point.
That's
Why
fair.
didn't she give them this information about this dragon medallion? That would have actually
Right.
saved them a lot of time.
And it just she just happened to tell them too, because it's not like Robert Patrick was warning, or there was any warning that this was all going down. She just randomly told them, and then he showed up at their door. I'm like, okay, what a
Yeah.
coincidence.
It would have been a lot more interesting if they had more knowledge.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, that cage was in their own building, so I don't know why they couldn't open it.
It's true.
That made absolutely no sense. And also, it wasn't true to the video game either, because in the video game, these characters at least know what they're doing, whereas in the movie they don't. Because after the main, who I'm going to consider the main character, after she gets blown up, let's see, there's another fight scene which is not very spectacular. The most memorable part is like a postal service worker falling off a roof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
There's so many one-liners, and that was like, oh, I've never seen the post office work that fast. Was one of them.
Yeah. And I love how the film has to like add like a zing to it, like, oh, wasn't that a good one? Like, do you get it, viewers?
Yeah. It was like that
The post
90s
office is slow.
fucking shit. Yeah.
Then they spend half the movie arguing on a pier. Like after that, that's mostly what they end up doing for like the next 3 or 4 scenes. And then what else? Oh yeah, you're reading the plot summary. Sorry, go on.
That's all good. It skips around a lot. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or skips things. Unable to find the brothers on his own, Shuko unites and takes over the gangs by displaying his power and sends them all after the Lees. Billy and Jimmy narrowly get away and seek refuge in the Power Corps' hideout. Marion agrees to help them, using this as an opportunity to get rid of the gangs once and for all. And the 3 of them decide to go to Shuko's office building to steal his medallion.
Okay.
Which that was a funny scene.
Oh yeah, was that the one where, where they're eating, where he's like she's feeding him spinach or whatever? Or
that
or
was
that later?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I remember there was something that happened in the midst of all this stuff where they were like feeding him spinach, like the fat
Yeah, I wrote down spinach as torture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my notes. Yeah.
Interesting way to torture somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they were trying to steal the medallion, just with the rope down the vent,
Yep.
and then
That was fun.
the lady just watching them do it.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, and also that lady, by the way, like, was it just me or did her hair looked really big? Like it looked like disproportionate to her head. Like she was supposed to be like this intimidating, like villainous badass, you know, babe type lady, and yet she's got like a Dolly Parton hair.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? It kind of made her hard to take seriously.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, she didn't look as stupid as Robert Patrick though, with the
That
ice-ice
fucking
baby.
ice,
Like,
bleach white. I don't know. I guess it wasn't even
Yeah.
bleach. It was just fucking spray paint white.
yeah, and it's like all tall. I call it the Robert Van Winkle look, because Vanilla Ice did it, and Ace Ventura kind of did it too, you know. But yeah, Robert Patrick, I don't know if he was hoping that haircut would make him look like a scary supervillain. It didn't.
I doubt it was his idea either. So.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't his idea. Oh man, I'd feel really embarrassed for him if it was.
All right. They ultimately fall and are forced to flee, and Jimmy is captured in the process. Billy and Marion return to the Power Corps base and lament about how none of them have been able to figure out how to use their dragon piece.
Yeah, and by lament, we mean lament.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like they were about to beat each other up at one point. I was just like, do we really have to have conflict for no reason? I got so sick of that after a while. I was like, my God, like, I just want that one other lady who got blown up to like not be dead.
Yeah, like they bring
Just
her
so she
back
could
at the end or something.
Yeah, would have made for a better movie. So
Marion points out a discovery they made that the wearer of the medallion is immune to the powers of its counterpart, meaning Shuko is not able to possess him as long as he has it. Suddenly, the gang attacks the hideout. In the melee, Jimmy reappears. Billy is elated, however, Jimmy is merely being controlled by Shuko as he tries to pummel his brother into submission. Billy then accidentally activates his medallion's ability, which is the power of the body, and effectively makes him invulnerable to harm. Which I like how activating it, he just threw it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That's how
yeah, he just chucked it in the air, and yeah, like, that's it.
that activated it. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that
other
was
one you
fun.
had to rub. That's how you fucking Robert Patrick. You just rub it. This
Yeah.
one you had to
Like-
throw. Okay.
like a magic plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Sure. At this point, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Knowing this, Shuko threatens to kill Jimmy instead. This doesn't succeed either, so he releases Jimmy to distract Billy long enough to get the medallion. Shuko succeeds in uniting the Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Shuko succeeds in uniting the halves and turns into a pair of shadow warriors with katanas that disintegrate anything they slice through with some very rubbery swords.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, I laughed actually. I was like, oh my god. Like, it just, yeah. I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about, I think.
Yeah.
Even in VHS format, I could see that crap.
Yeah. The Lee brothers fight but cannot beat him. Abobo, who had previously been taken prisoner and since reformed, reveals to Marion that Shuko's weakness is light. Marion reactivates the hideout's generator and the Shadow Warriors are rendered powerless.
Which was stupid.
Yeah.
It's
Really
like the intro crawl made it seem like the full medallion was just this unstoppable force, but light. It's
Yeah.
fucking vampires or some shit. Like, come
I
on.
guess.
Light is
much.
the weakness for this crazy powerful medallion. All right.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I didn't understand like what
Would've
the hell
been-
they were going for.
Yeah, it would have been more interesting if he was a vampire. It would have explained his look a little better.
Yep.
Yeah, actually. That would have made for a pretty excellent subplot. Like, this movie is just a series of missed opportunities, I realize.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? Every time they kind of establish some cool idea like an unstoppable medallion or a sonic super soldier or whatever the hell, they do nothing with it. They're like, oh wait, let's make a family movie or something. I don't know. Like, what even was this?
Yeah, something for kids for sure.
I guess. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it when I was a kid, so I guess it worked.
Yeah.
It was around the Three Ninjas era, so
Yeah. We all got suckered in. Ugh. Although Three Ninjas is a far superior martial arts movie.
oh, yeah.
Because the difference between a movie like this and Three Ninjas is that Three Ninjas doesn't fuck around. Once the fight scenes get going, they don't stop.
and those kids actually know how to fight.
That too.
Yeah.
That helps.
And you can also actually see the impact of the fights too, like, which is actually pretty cool. So I don't really understand why they chose to not do that in this movie. Like, honestly, the Street Fighter the movie is more of a martial arts movie than this is. And that's saying something, because Street Fighter the movie was not exactly like very successful when it came to martial arts. The Street Fighter The Legend of Chun-Li was a better martial arts movie than Street Fighter the movie.
Okay.
So, not to say it's a better movie, but better martial arts.
Billy and Jimmy attack, forcefully recombining the shadows into Suko and acquire the double dragon halves. They combine the two pieces, granting them matching uniforms and the medallion powers. And they briefly see a vision of Satori's spirit as she gives them encouraging words.
Yeah.
Worst ghost, yeah.
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 They looked like whatever that Spanish band was that Ricky Martin was in when he was a kid. They looked like that. They looked like members of that band, with those outfits. It just looked horrible. And,
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Even
and
their
this is
lines
actually-
were shitting on the outfits.
Yeah, they did make fun of the outfits.
I appreciated that. And actually, up until this point of the movie, I could still say that I was on board. But this is when the movie decides to screw the pooch like really hard.
Yeah.
Like, I can forgive a bad martial arts movie as long as it has a good climax.
Mm-hmm.
This movie does not have a good climax.
No, the whole. So the problem with it, I wrote down like it was like, well, once if the two good guys get the thing back together, who are they gonna fight? This old rich dude? I figured they need some like super bad to fight, but no, their main villain was just a rich old dude.
Yeah, they're just kicking him when he's down.
Yeah.
Like,
And he was like, I got money, stop. After they, successfully completed their mission and had the superpowers, like they should have had at least another big bad to fight that they need the medallion for, but no.
yeah.
It would have made sense. It seemed like that's what they were building to, but then they do something completely different. So.
Yeah. The brothers pummel Shuko, and Jimmy possesses him to make him do embarrassing things. Just makes him hit himself.
Oh, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah. Like, that's your big boss fight.
Yeah.
During this time, Marion's father arrives to bring Shuko to justice and to take care of the gangs once and for all. Jimmy has Shuko write a check to the police department for $129 million before encouraging the police chief to arrest him. Shuko was sent to jail. The police department has renewed strength to fight the gangs instead of compromising with them. And Billy and Jimmy can now keep both halves of the Double Dragon safe.
I mean, the bad guy didn't even die.
Just went to
He got
jail.
arrested. He says you'll be hearing from my lawyers. Or something. What
Yeah,
is
that
this?
check
Scooby-Doo
won't
villain?
clear. I mean, that check won't clear ever. He can easily say, no, that wasn't. No,
Yeah.
don't do it.
It's like, you want to see them beat the guy up really just for having a stupid haircut. Let's face it. And the most they can do is possess him, make him write a stupid fake check, and then get arrested and yell at the good guys about how he's going to hire a lawyer. Like, that's boring.
Yeah. So lame.
Yeah. That's like one of the worst endings to any movie ever. That's like down there with Rat Race, where like the characters are chasing after each other. They're, whooping each other up, trying to get this money. And then they decide to go to a Smash Mouth concert and donate their money to charity. It's like, are you serious? You're really going to end the movie that way? Like, really? Like, what the hell? That's not an ending. And this wasn't an ending either. Like,
I love the rest of that movie though.
oh yeah, the rest of the movie is awesome.
So yeah,
So Double Dragon.
It's Double Dragon.
Yeah, good times.
I have
but
a
not
bit of trivia.
Hmm.
The little brother, Alyssa Milano's little brother, is actually Alyssa Milano's little brother in real life. Like,
okay.
nice bit of
He had
trivia
a-
for you.
Yeah, he had a similar kind of vocal tone. I guess that makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Alyssa Milano, I'm not even sure why she was in this movie. She pretty much just played herself. Let's see. There was sort of a semi love interest aspect with her and Scott Wolf.
They almost kissed.
Yeah.
They just kept looking at her ass the whole movie.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
fun.
okay, the daughter of the chief of police. Yeah, not a smart choice. Which Kyle MacLachlan and Blue Velvet did the same thing. So whatever. But still, it's like it didn't need to happen. It didn't really add anything to the plot, and it kind of. I mean, it didn't really get dropped. It kind of just became a punchline for the ending, which I guess I don't know. What did the ending mean? Like they get the guy to drive and then they scream and like what was that? Like what were they trying to do with that? Like I don't know. Was it supposed to be a joke or
Yeah, it was.
oh okay.
Because of how bad he was of a driver, but they thought Billy was possessing him, but he wasn't. He was asleep in the back of the car. Some stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because there was that car chase, actually, in the beginning. I think they referenced like, remember what happened to his old car?
Yeah.
In their car, I thought it was neat that that they were just chucking trash into it to make it go
Oh
faster.
yeah.
Yeah. That was hilarious. Although then there was that stupid they couldn't even make that work though, because then there was that stupid moment where Scott Wolf pulls out and like he's trying to find paper, trying to find something burnable, and he pulls out a map and he's like, oh, let me throw this on their windshield, and somehow he's able to get it on their windshield rather than putting it into the turbo booster.
Mm-hmm.
And so he temporarily blinds them, but then it flies off and then they're back to square one.
Yeah, and they had it's
pointless.
2007, so they had like what fucking bumper car cameras. So they were
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so they got that stuff right. That's impressive.
That's true. Yeah, I appreciated that. Yeah, but
and then at the end of that chase scene, it was because they ended in a crash. It had my favorite line was, "My whole life flashed before my life." Dude, I sleep a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that was funny. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
There were some funny lines and little moments here and there. It was just, I don't know, mostly just a lot of wasted opportunities. And, I don't know, kind of a dumb like video game movie that wasn't even very true to the video game. And, I don't know, like the video game is about like the bad guys kidnapping some girl and then you have to go after them by beating up a bunch of people. This movie wasn't even about that. It was just about these guys trying to get a medallion and then like they argue on a pier. I don't even know why I keep mentioning the fact that they're on a pier, but for some reason that was like the one interesting thing about the argument, I guess. And then they dick around for the most part. They possess the bad guy.
There was a fight scene where the Double Dragon arcade cabinet was in the background.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was so dumb.
I was like, okay, well,
might as well, whatever.
Yeah, they threw everything else in.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Berryman shows up. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't really get to do anything other than yell, but it's always fun to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do remember. I think when I saw Weird Science, I think it was way before I saw not Last House. The Hills Have Eyes. When I saw Weird Science, I remember there's that one scene where the motorcycle guy stops and says, "Oh, don't tell anybody this. I don't want this to affect my teaching career or whatever." And his face was Michael Berryman's face, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's the guy from Double Dragon." So for the longest time, I knew Michael Berryman as the guy from Double Dragon, which makes me feel a little embarrassed, But oh well.
Yeah.
Overall, though, pretty much just piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not the worst video game movie I've ever seen, but certainly down there. But doesn't quite touch Ooey Bowl, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not Ooey Bowl depths.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, I give it a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. I give it a 1 as well. Why not? Can't give it more than that.
Yeah, I think 1 is about fair because ultimately, like, for every good thing that this movie does, it does 10 things wrong in exchange. So ultimately it's so disappointing that it's not even worth watching. So
Mhm.
all right, so is there anything else either of you two gentlemen would like to say about Double Dragon?
It was pretty stupid.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
not a good movie. Even my cat, not even my cat liked it. Like sometimes he'll like actually sit down and watch movies with me. This one, like as soon as that guy showed up with all the steroids, he was just like, I'm out of here. He just left my room. I was like, aw. All right, so that concludes our review of Double Dragon. So now we are going to discuss the film that you chose, Nick, which is
The Stupids. It's a comedy, and it'll be hard to, I guess, go through because there's really not. It's just weird to. It's mostly just set pieces and bits. That's all it really is throughout the whole thing. But there's a little through line.
Yeah.
Stars Tom Arnold, which I found funny because I watched both Double Dragon and like this right after. So I was like, oh, Tom Arnold from Double Dragon, married Madonna.
Yeah, I laughed at that too. I was like, oh my god, no way, this is crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is the craziest thing.
What a coincidence!
Yeah.
Made me laugh.
Right.
Probably made me laugh harder than anything in the movie. Really.
Well, I will say though, I did think that Tom Arnold was probably the best part of this movie. I must admit,
Yeah,
like
easily.
I thought he was really entertaining, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Directed by John Landis.
oh yeah, John Landis, and who I mean, we probably shouldn't talk. I mean, he's a kind of a disgraced filmmaker now, unfortunately, which I think it's pretty understandable why if you know what he did. But although having said that, because he more or less has probably been blacklisted by most of society, it does kind of give him the freedom to make whatever the hell kind of movie he wants to make. And I'd say The Stupids is probably a good example of him really indulging in something. I don't know. Like, what is this?
I don't fucking know. It's just these people trying to make it through a day of life, and they don't understand how the basic functions of anything work. Anything.
Yeah, this was one
mean-
day. Ooh.
Right? Yeah. Jesus.
I mean, these are the most paranoid people on the face of the earth. They're not even
Yeah.
stupid. They just
Stupid.
they just suspect the worst out of everything or
Yeah.
about everything, basically.
Yeah, they're real dumb. They are dumb too, though. I mean,
They're like conspiracy theorists to the extreme, which I think John Landis was trying to make a comment on conspiracy theorists, like, because this movie could have easily been just people who just make nothing but poor decisions, but no, this is actually a movie about people who have really just a really poor sense of judgment, basically.
Okay,
Which
yeah.
I think is potentially more dangerous. Like, that's a more dangerous kind of stupid. You know, because if you expect the worst out of every single life scenario, I mean, your life is just going to be pure hell and misery, you know, and you're just going to make everybody around you miserable too, you know. So I think this movie was kind of trying to tap into that a little bit, kind of trying to find humor in it, which, I mean, admittedly, I laughed, although I mostly was just laughing at how weird it was. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'll let you continue.
Yeah, I didn't have put that much thought into it at all. I just thought these were some dumb fuckers. So
yeah, you can say that again.
I mean, well, they're dumb. I mean, they sleep on the wrong side of the bed. They were upside down. Their feet were hanging out like that was the first shot of the movie. It was just like their feet on the the headboard of the bed. Like,
Yeah.
like, what? Okay, but again, anyway, the movie mostly is revolving around a plot because they put the garbage out at night and the garbage disappeared. They
Which begs the question: why do you put your garbage out at night?
yeah, why did she put it out then if she didn't? Because they thought they thought someone stole the garbage. And that's the joke,
That's,
I
that's
guess.
that's the thing. It feels like that question needs to be asked, but the movie never asks the question. It just kind of goes along with it.
Yeah.
Which, in a way, I kind of admire that. That's the weird thing. Like it didn't make any sense, but like at the same time, like it kind of worked. Like I couldn't figure out if this movie was too smart for me or too dumb for me. Like that's the weird thing, because I didn't really even understand half the decisions they made. Like
No.
I don't understand how they could come to the conclusion that their garbage was even being stolen, or why their garbage would even be stolen.
Because they're stupid. That's why I that's why I lean more on it was just them being they literally are stupid. They can't
Yeah.
they didn't they couldn't literally could not comprehend the functions of a society or how anything worked at all.
I mean, this is like a severe level of mental dysfunction. I mean,
Yes, they shouldn't have been allowed to, own their own house. They should be like, getting some assisted living type shit. Like,
I mean, somebody needs to be helping them, because I'm a little concerned. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what in the world? Like, although, okay, so they do have pets. Well,
Oh my
kind
god.
of. That was so weird.
I
I
mean,
didn't
do
get
we want
that.
to talk about that? I mean,
Yes.
do you guys want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, because it's not that. I mean, they're CGI like fucking cats. There was a CGI cat and a CGI dog that just showed up a couple times. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why is this here?
They looked like something out of like some old cheesy like 90s like family show, or something, like some cheesy cartoon Bear in the Big Blue House type shit or something. I don't even know. Like it just looked like something from something. Like it looked like it belonged in like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, I didn't get it. And like the animals were implied to be smarter than them. They were trying to tell them stuff, but couldn't communicate.
Yeah, they were telling them basic things. Like they couldn't even figure out how to make their car work.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't even figure out the
Multiple times.
Multiple times they couldn't figure out how to.
Yeah, their dog is literally pointing to the keys.
Yeah, he's like, he had them. He has them. He's like, hey.
Yeah, and they're like, not now, Buster,
Kitty.
or whatever, or Kitty. They killed the dog Kitty. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie has no boundaries as
No.
far as how completely incompetent these people are at just the basic, even the most basic tasks. Like
That's
you mentioned.
I mean, it's what drives the plot entirely is their incompetence.
Yeah.
So what happens is, I guess, Tom Arnold sets out another garbage can decoy. I guess probably not, but he does a stakeout to see what if someone comes and tries to steal his garbage, which the garbage people like the garbage workers, the sanitation employees come with their garbage truck and do what their job is. And so
Yeah.
and there was like a scary movie one moment where like he was trying to decide, I gotta follow him. What do I choose? Bicycle, 2 wheels. No. Car, 4 wheels. Rollerblades, 8 wheels.
And then Tom Arnold, who's obviously not skating on roller skates, is like, yeah, I'll get there in no time. And it's like this cheesy shot of him sort of slowly trying to kind of patiently balance himself on the roller skates, and then it cuts to a body double doing it no problem. It's like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. And
because they just want the plot to keep going, because like you said, the plot yeah, like you said, the plot moves because of actually no, the plot hinges on the stupidity of the characters. Because
Yes.
otherwise there's no plot.
No, they wouldn't have gone past the first 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
where did the garbage go? Oh,
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
They
The garbage guy took it.
It's a Wednesday. Come on.
Anyway, go on.
So as he's chasing him down, the kids wake up. The kids are dumb as hell too.
Oh my god, the kids are like just as bad as the parents, if not worse.
Yeah,
which makes sense because they're kids, but still.
Yeah, they're looking for their dad. So they say, "Oh well, let's go to the police." Which okay, that's fair enough, but it's just the morning after. Like they didn't wait like the day or whatever, but no, it's just they couldn't find him in the morning. So Petunia is, I guess, I think that was her name. Petunia
Yeah.
Buster. The sister was telling the kid what to write for a note for their mother, and it was like, "We've gone to the police to look. We think Dad's been kidnapped," and then just signed the children.
Yeah.
Which Buster just writes down. The police has kidnapped your children.
Yeah, and then they decide to leave the house.
Yeah. Just like, all right. And yeah, they go to the police. And the mom finds the note that says the police kidnapped your children. So she's all like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
The police
And then
are
the cops
trying to get
immediately
us.
call her.
Yeah, right after the cops immediately call her and say, like saying, "Yeah, ma'am, we have your children. Like,
Yeah, they're here.
like they're here. You want to come
And then
pick them up, or we'll drive them back home, or whatever."
Yeah.
That's what the conversation would have gone. But she's like, "Oh my god," and just hung up on him.
Yeah, she decides to have a panic attack as soon as the cop like is barely even finished with his first sentence, and then she hangs up the phone. I'll never understand when characters in movies like this hang up the phone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow.
So I get okay. So the mom goes, and then there's like two little plots going on. I guess I'll follow this one immediately. The mom goes to the police station to try and rescue the kids, but as they pass by, like the cop car's coming by to drop the kids back off at home, while the mom's going to the police station. So there's a little mishap there.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh no, they'll recognize me." She goes into a wig store and dresses literal head to toe in wigs.
That was another thing I didn't understand, is that she said that, okay, she sees the cop, right? And she doesn't immediately think, "Oh my god, these people kidnapped my kids." She jumps to the conclusion, if they see her, they're going to kidnap her too.
That they'll recognize her, yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense, because according to her logic, they gave her the ransom note, so they're expecting her to pay up or whatever. So why would they want to kidnap her? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that's just illogical. That's pure
stupid.
Illogical. Like, but that's an insane stretch to make. Like, you'd have to be more than stupid. You'd have to be like clinically insane to come to a conclusion as extreme as that. You know,
Yep.
Like, I think these characters should have been called the Insanes rather than stupid.
Yeah,
because they're if somebody's stupid, like, yeah, they're gonna make poor decisions. They're gonna make decisions that are completely thoughtless and dumb and are just gonna ruin their life and all that stuff. But these characters are making decisions that are a lot deeper than that, like that are just profoundly destructive. Like, almost at the point of senseless.
Illogical.
You know? Yeah.
Completely illogical.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, because
it made it fascinating to me.
Yeah, because the next thing that happens was the kids come home and their mom's gone.
Yeah.
And like a Chinese delivery man is just, sticking flyers throughout the neighborhood, and they think it's some type of ransom note as well. So they go to the Chinese foods place to try and figure out where their mom was. And They just eat Chinese food there, which led to one of the funnier lines of it, or not funnier. It was just like it was. He's ordered, well, what's good here? And he's like, the cashew chicken. And the sister was like, we'll give you the cash when you give us our mother back. And then the brother was like, and don't call me chicken.
That made me laugh. Yeah.
Like a don't call me Shirley thing. Like,
Yeah, that I like that. That was clever.
yeah.
You know, yeah. I and also didn't they get like a fortune cookie or something
Yep,
that had like a
that's-
note in it that they're like, oh no, this has to do with it too. Like,
Yes, that was it was, yeah, and it was completely logical how they put the next step together, because it was just one of those generic I can't. It's so generic. It's like, today's bad, some next good fortune, but they get in their heads that, oh, let's go to the news station, which
yeah.
is which was a little funny line too, that the sister said, oh, isn't it on the corner of, and she reads, it was like two words that were in the fortune, and
Yeah.
the brother was like, no, it's like on Fifth and Maple. And she's like, oh, okay.
No, I remember. Yeah, that was funny. They were jumping to these pretty odd conclusions that somehow were working out in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that's a whole other B side plot, I guess. I'll go
Oh
back.
yeah.
I'll go back to Tom Arnold. He
Seems like a good segue.
I
Chinese
guess.
restaurant, Tom
But
Arnold.
I don't
like,
know.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's an A plot, B plot. But
Yeah.
Tom Arnold's, still chasing down the thing. He falls asleep on it eventually too. Uh Wakes up, chases it some more, chases it to the dump, finds this whole mound of garbage, and is like, he comes to the conclusion that there's this whole conspiracy of, they're stealing our garbage.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's like a substantial, like, worldwide scale or something. I mean,
Mhm.
he was making a big thing of it.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he bumps into an actual scandal of these military men doing arms dealing throughout the world.
Oh yeah.
It was like an
And
illegal arms
let's see.
dealing operation with some military guy that wasn't getting paid enough or whatever. So he's
Yeah, Lieutenant Neil or whatever. Who, as soon as I saw him, it's kind of like that time that that we watched whatever the movie was, and I was like, holy crap, I didn't know Joe Biden acted in this movie. I saw this guy and I was like, holy crap, it's Pete Buttigieg. I didn't know he acted.
surprised me. Yeah, nope.
Yeah, who knew? It's a surprise.
So
John
yeah.
Landis somehow roped him in. Just kidding. Anyway.
So yeah, fucking Tom Arnold. Yeah, he bumps in. He's just like kind of wandering through the dump, and he bumps into these guys. Doesn't know what he's come across, of course.
Yeah, of course. Everything else is a conspiracy, but this. Like,
yeah,
that
but the
makes sense.
actual conspiracy, and like eventually some time passes from the initial meeting, and the army dudes are alerted to Tom Arnold's presence, and he's like, he's not with anyone. He must be a super spy or something like that. And it was just showing him, he was like getting caught in a fucking tire donut. He couldn't get out. He's
Some
like,
random dude in a daisy suit and a hat. Like, yeah, okay, he's a criminal mastermind.
yeah.
The one guy who makes himself stick out like a sore thumb.
He tried not to. He hid in a bush.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was a good little bit too. Yeah. He was like, so you gotta be a bush? Think like a bush. Oh, I have roots and leaves, and wait a minute, I have arms and legs. I'm a bush with arms and legs. He like fucking freaks out thinking he's a bush with arms and legs. And it was like, you fucking idiot.
I laughed so hard. Oh man, that was hilarious. Yeah. No, I like that. And something about Tom Arnold's voice, like it just made it perfect. Like, he was like, oh, nobody will be able to. It was like, his voice. He just has the perfect voice for that kind of role.
Yeah, and like it was like a real shitty disguise too, because they look like the two garbage men, like the regular garbage employees, look over at him, and he's just standing there like behind a couple of twigs, basically, and then they're just like, okay, whatever, and go about their business.
Yeah. Oh no, I like that though. That was funny.
Yeah. So yeah, he's at that gun show or whatever. And then I guess cut back to the kids doing their thing, trying to find their dad. They meet up with their mom eventually. There's a little bit where they're confused because she looks like a wig monster. That was dumb.
Yeah, actually, in my opinion, she drew more attention to herself by buying that stupid looking wig. Like, I don't understand why she chose the most well, okay, yeah, all right, she's stupid, so never mind. But still, like, she chose the most obvious looking wig. Like, I'm just trying to figure out their logic, I guess. Which I guess their logic is that they have no logic. I suppose that's the joke, but I guess I'm somebody who tends to be more scientifically minded. I tend to be somebody who likes to sort of explore the science behind things and just explore sort of like the reasoning behind things. And so this movie kind of made me hit a lot of brick walls, just it was very fascinating,
Yes. So this is okay. The kids. All right. Eventually, the kids are at the this newspaper station. They try and hack into it. But first, okay, there's a setup for this joke that pays off in the end. It's like the entertainment section writer is writing. HBO is picking up 2 new sci-fi series, and then like the editor comes by and punches up the thing and says, major network picks up 2 alien pilots. Like Alien, as like, because they're making 2 space shows. So later the kids come in, they try and put in like, oh, we need a password, even though it apparently wasn't asking them for a password. The boy just says nose because he was like itching his nose. How about nose?
Yeah.
So they put in nose, it works. And then I don't know what the other lines really were because I was just like, what the okay, whatever.
They're just doing their thing and it's working.
And they're trying to find their dad. They have a picture of him. They put it in the floppy. They put a picture of the dad in the floppy drive. And it explodes like the entire network, basically.
Okay,
all
so how did
all
that
the computers just started blowing up because someone put a picture in a floppy disk.
So that was another thing that didn't make any sense because like computers are typically remote, right? And so if you put something in one computer in one drive, it's not necessarily going to cause a reaction to every drive in the room, right?
No, it would not do that. No.
So maybe this is
it was just dumb. I don't know.
You know what I think this is? I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, and I apologize in advance. I think they affected the mainframe. Sorry. I just had to say
it. Oh Jesus.
I mean, it still makes more sense than Hackers, though.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
This is a much better movie than Hackers. So. And actually, while I'm at it, this is also a much better movie than Live Free or Die Hard, because that movie tried to pull the same shit, and I didn't buy it for a second. Sorry, John, or whoever made that movie. Well, wait, no, John McClane's the main character, but the director, Lynn Wiseman. Yeah, sorry, fuck you. I don't believe you.
Nope.
Go
so
on.
Anyway, this leads to the.
Oh, by the way, Zach, do you want to weigh in at all? I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
What do you got?
Okay. Okay, so anyway.
I'm enjoying this more Not going over it again.
Oh, okay, good.
Me too. As I talk about it, I like it more.
Good. All right. Excellent. All right, we'll proceed.
So the kids make it so that the newspaper, the front page is the line. The line was. Did I write it down? No, but it was two alien pilots pick their nose.
Okay.
And it also had a picture of their dad on the picture they put into the floppy. So that was on the front page of the news that they were distributing that day. And then cut to some CGI bullshit aliens. They were literally picking their nose while like the stewardess or flight attendant or assistant comes in, gives them a drink, and then in the Earth newspaper, while they're picking their nose, they read the headline with Tom Arnold's face, and they're like, "Oh shit!" They had no actual English. It was like speaking, but they were like, "Oh, we gotta go get this guy. He knows what we're doing." The gist, and then cut to the rest of the fucking movie.
I know, and a weird part of me knew it was coming. A weird part of me, because at the beginning, like, okay, early on when they showed the stupid like stop motion like pet things, I was like, okay, that can't be the last time they show that kind of bullshit. And then of course,
I didn't think so. Honestly, I thought that would be it.
But then of course they ended up having to show these ridiculous looking aliens, which I just am like, I just when I thought this movie couldn't get any more stupid, like you had to introduce aliens, like you just had to. But that's not all they introduced, because there's okay, we'll let you get to that.
I mean, it cuts from that. I mean, it implies that they're going to Earth to find Tom Arnold or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, let's see.
Basically.
The next plot is they reunite with their mom. They're going home. They're trying to call 911, but they're like, "No, the police know. We have to go higher. What's higher than 911? 1011. No." No, what's higher than 1011? And the mom is like 75,496.11. So they dial that, and it's a fucking delivery. It's a deli. It's just a deli.
Yeah, and of course they had to screw that up too. Like,
yeah. And she's trying to explain that their husband's gone or missing or something, and the delivery guy is kind of normal. So he's like, "Oh, okay, so you need a big meal because I don't know, you're busy. You seem busy or something."
Yeah, they use it as an opportunity to pitch their their special sandwich or whatever. Like, I don't even remember exactly, but yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, and this is also, I guess, so the mom tells the kids about their dad's previous job, which, by the way, I don't know what his actual job is currently.
Yeah, they never say it.
But his previous job was a mailman,
Mm-hmm.
which is they think he's been kidnapped because he was onto this conspiracy about this guy called Mr. Sender, because he didn't know what return to sender meant as a mailman.
Yeah.
And there was also the stupidest fucking shit where he was delivering mail like, 7:38, and the address was like, spray painted on right in front of a sewer. So he's just chucking in the sewer, and then he came across 10 and he chucked it into a wood chipper that just was like,
there was a number 10 on the wood chipper for some reason.
Yeah.
And of course he does it with relish too. He's like, okay.
Okay.
Like he does it very one by one, each piece of mail, just chucking it all in.
Yep.
And then the guy in the front of the vehicle doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's like, okay, some guy putting stuff into a wood chipper. Like,
yeah, and she's telling him the story that as he was sorting mail, he kept getting these return to sender, return to sender.
Yeah.
So he goes to his boss and says,
Yeah.
this
David
sender,
Cronenberg.
yeah.
It's like the most gentle voiced man ever for somebody who makes such disgusting perverted movies like Videodrome and shit like that, and yet he seems like a really gentle man based on this cameo. So very soft spoken and
Yeah.
kind. It's like, wow, it's like the one person in the movie who actually speaks nicely to this guy.
Kind of. I mean,
Kind of, but then he gets fired.
yeah,
But
he gets fired because he's stupid, because he was showing him, look at all these return to sender, there's Mr. Sender or something, blah blah blah, conspiracy. And then his boss just fires him because he doesn't understand how mail works, which is a valid reason to fire a mailman.
Agreed.
But they of course come to the conclusion that he was on to something, so he had to get fired to silence him or get him out of the picture. Oh my god.
And then it gets worse.
Yeah, so I mean, they're dry. Like Tom Arnold eventually gets he gets a car from the military dudes, like as a bribe, because he thinks he's super smart, but he's stupid. But he's like, oh, I would have just accepted a ride home, but thanks for the car.
Yeah.
There's some assassination attempts, which go bad because of stupidness.
Well, okay, there was one that didn't make any sense to me. So the guy's got the chloroform, right?
Well, this is before. So I'm talking about the car chase, kind of.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then I'll get to that.
So we'll get to that in just a few seconds, really.
Okay.
The first one was like a guy shoots out the gas tank, gas is exploding, and then he's trying to change the radio, but he lights the ash like a cigarette lighter, and then just says, "Oops!" Oh, chucks it out, blows him up. And then he actually no, okay, so this is like in between that one, and he gets a call from his kids and he called because there's a phone in the car. He calls up home, says, honey, I'm sick, like, hey, how's it going, or whatever. And they warn him of drive B, fatal error, which was what the computer showed when they put the picture in the thing. So they warn him, watch out for drive B, fatal error. And then, okay, whatever, he hangs up. It's like, oh, I don't know what that means. So they send out the next assassin, which is a demolition expert, which is he puts a bomb on the car, and then a bee happens to fly in, fucking Tommy Boy style. So he drive B, fatal. So is like, I'm driving B. Wait, drive B. So he pulls over and smacks the bee while the bomb actually fucking just goes off. They think they kill him, but the fucking bomb literally just blows up the back half of the car, and he's completely fine, even though it was a huge ass explosion. What am I watching here? Like,
it was weird. I mean, the bee thing did make me think though.
Yeah, and he looks at his shoe. He's like, "Oh yeah, good shoe," because it like blew up the fucking car. He assumes or something like that.
Yeah. So then the one with the chloroform, which is the one that made zero sense to me.
Yep. So he has to go and gas up because his gas tank got shot out. He goes up, gases up.
Yeah. And then he's like,
he had to take he took like a quick he took a quick shower with a hose,
an Italian shower.
Yeah, with just a hose and then like a air thing that they have to fill the tire with. And then there was one of the other assassins was coming up behind him as he was drying off, and he like had a chloroform rag, but it blows it into the bad guy's mouth.
Okay, so he blew it in. You see, he seemed too far away for the chloroform to actually go into his mouth. So I was so confused by that. I was like, how
Like
did
he
that
dragged
cloth-
it and was holding it, and then
Yeah,
it
he
just
was
like
holding
kind of.
and it looked like he was holding it tightly, but then suddenly out of
didn't-
nowhere, it wound up in his mouth, and I was like, what? Like, and I rewound it a couple times. I was like, what's going on here? I couldn't figure it out. And so I'm glad you mentioned the fact that he was air blowing, because somehow I missed that.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was he was
Because he
drying
looked too
off.
far away. Like,
Yeah, no. But he doesn't die there. He doesn't take him. He falls into some tires, and then he's an assassin with like a blade.
yeah.
It's like an assassin blade, and like as he's getting up, he punctures a tire and it explodes. Fucking shoots him 50, 100 feet into the air. Easy.
Yeah, that was strange.
and he lands down into the gas station, and chickens just start flying out of the gas station.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
at this point I was like, what next?
I don't know.
But I shouldn't have asked that question.
I mean, no. So they I mean, so either way, they think Tom Arnold's dead from the explosion one. So I guess that one must have happened before then, I must assume.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that would make more
Okay.
sense. My bad.
All right. Yeah, no worries. It's easy to get.
It's hard because it's all just set pieces and bits.
Yeah, it's like situational comedy basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after all that, they reunite at home, and Tom is explaining the whole Mr. Sender thing, which turns into like this dream sequence kind of thing, like with Christopher Lee in like a hell
the
scenario.
King of Kings.
Yeah. He's in. Cause I was like, wait, because I was at this point, I was like, okay, wait, is this real? Because they had the aliens, so I was
Right.
wondering, is this real? Okay, he was getting all these return to senders and throwing them away, just throwing them away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was weird. I don't know. It was wicked confusing and strange. I don't know if it was even supposed to make
What
sense.
was
I
the
mean,
point?
I-
It didn't.
Yeah.
He was just torturing all the return to sender things, and then they cut out of it, and he had like, one of those CSI whiteboard things with lines and circles and sender, like a conspiracy
Yeah.
theory board.
Yeah. Like this movie's kind of just making fun of conspiracy theorists the whole time, really, when you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
which I kind of appreciate.
So that did answer my question. Was, well, is this return to sender shit real too now? No, it was just him explaining what he thinks the return to sender guy was.
Yeah.
Just an
So-
excuse to get Christopher Lee in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice
which-
little cameo.
I'm not going to complain about, because Christopher Lee is, yeah, like I said, he's the King of Kings, So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so then what happened?
Okay. So they're looking up this not Christopher Sender, but Sender. They're looking up Sender in the phone book, which they find one Sender, who happens to be, I guess, just some museum owner, basically. Which leads that's what leads to the them not being able to start their car, because he was trying to start the car, but he had no key in his hand. He was like, the car won't start. Why won't it start? And he wasn't even like trying to twist the ignition with his hand. He was like in doubt, like where you would be holding the key.
Yeah, it's like he expected it to be in there already, I guess. I don't know. For somebody
Yeah.
who's a conspiracy theorist, it doesn't really make sense for him to leave his keys in the car, but whatever. For whatever reason, he thought that they were there, I guess. I don't know.
But he was in, and then he says, it's dead. He has to give it CPR or mouth to mouth resuscitation.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
So he kisses the fucking car as
Yeah.
I don't know. He gets electrocuted and has a moment of clarity. He
Oh
basically
yeah, where he finally. Yeah. Okay, go on.
I mean, I don't know his exact words, but he monologues like, "Wait a minute, this is all just fucking stupid." Like, I'm a paranoid guy he literally makes fun of the movie or points out that wait
Basically
a second,
summarizes the whole plot.
yeah, wait a second, this is all just stuff we're jumping to conclusions and being way over paranoid about.
Yeah, and I'm putting my family in danger. Like all this stuff that's like pretty smart actually to think about.
Yeah, but like as the CGI electricity fades, he turns and he even says, "This is something I have to remember, remember." And then the CGI electricity fades, and then he's like, "What? Huh?" And the dog throws him the keys, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And they head on
Yeah.
their merry way.
And his wife is like, "Oh, is something going on?" He's like, yeah, but I don't remember."
Yep.
Which was like that big memento like that was the moment in the movie where I was like, "Duh!" Because it makes you think of the movie Memento almost, which, not to compare this movie to Memento, or the quality of that, but it did kind of remind me a little bit of the scene in Memento where I don't remember exactly the circumstances, but he got some big revelation. He was like, "Oh my god, I gotta find a pen, holy crap, what's going on?" And then he loses it, and then Christopher Nolan laughs in your face. Anyway.
Well, I guess, yeah.
But go on.
Okay, they get to the museum and split up, and so Tom Arnold goes with his daughter. They're in like a planetarium section. The lights go off, like literally the lights just go turn off, and then that makes them think that they're dead. They come to the conclusion that they died because the lights have been turned off.
Oh, something about that is so peculiar. I just have to laugh.
It's so dumb because they turn off and like, wait, I can't see anything. What is this? What's going on?
Yeah.
Is this? Are we dead? And then
I don't understand. Like,
This is my favorite scene.
yeah, I think I laughed harder at that. Like,
yeah.
like, I mean, I laughed pretty hard at this movie, but that might have been the part I laughed the hardest.
Yeah.
And then they accidentally commit mass murder, but we'll let you get.
I mean, they're in the planetarium room, like, so the actual show well, not the show, but the planet lights go on, so there's like stars and stuff like you would at a planetarium, look up, see stars and whatnot. And the fucking janitor's coming by, so they think they're in heaven because the lights went out. They think they're dead, that there's stars and stuff, and a janitor's coming by, and she says, is that who we think it is? And Tom Arnold's like, "Oh, hey, Lord." And he's like, "No, it's Lloyd. My name is Lloyd." The janitor's name is Lloyd. And he's like, "Oh, we've been mispronouncing it this whole time." It's just so fucking stupid. I mean, come on.
Oh my god, this movie is so funny. All right, go on.
And I don't know, there's like a few minute dialogue of them asking questions while the janitor's like responding to them normally. and, and he was like,
Tom Arnold, like, okay. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, and it mostly just ends with like saying, "But yeah, you guys aren't supposed to be here right now because it's closed. I'm cleaning." That's what the janitor's saying. They interpret it as God telling them, "Wait, you're gonna send us back to life?" and Tom Arnold's like, "Okay, so anything you want to tell us before we go back to the land of the living?" And he's like, "Yeah, throw your gum away, because that's 90% of my job is picking up gum."
Yeah, you just get rebuffed by the
So yeah, they make it out alive of the planetarium. They come back to life.
Yeah,
And
thankfully.
and then as they split up at the beginning of getting to the museum, the son and the mother, they go into a more museum type situation, which they interpret it. I don't know how they. Oh, okay. No, this is how it happened. They're searching for what's his face, Mr. Sender. And they get in. They get in. Hold
It's
on.
interesting to watch you like try to figure out the plot.
No, I'm
Like
trying
it
to
actually
just-
is kind of weird. Like,
I'm trying to just formulate this next sentence, which I know what it is because it's just so stupid.
yeah.
They get into an elevator and they think it's a time machine.
Yeah, what was that all about? Like,
It was dumb. So
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that like maybe they thought like that they
Stupid.
were in a phone booth
they're just-
and that it was like a time traveling phone booth from Bill and Ted or something. Like that's the only thing I could think. Like, and that's like a serious stretch.
the
I
kid
really
just
couldn't figure out the time travel logic that
No,
they were trying to go
there
with.
was no logic. The kid sees numbers and letters on a thing, and he
Yeah.
just jumps to the conclusion that it's a time machine. That's all it was. He sees the numbers and letters of the fucking elevator. He's like, oh, this is a time machine.
Again, the way he said it was just like unbelievable. Just yeah.
Uh,
Anyway,
so he puts in letters and shit. He just, he does the kid thing of, just swiping his hand down the elevator buttons, and his
Yeah.
mom, jumps in. Last second, they get to which just brings them to the like I don't know a next level, the floor of like, and it's an exhibit of dinosaurs.
yeah.
So they actually think they traveled back in time.
Yeah, which is an unfortunate coincidence that they ended up specifically there. I mean,
Just by chance, I guess. Yeah.
it's like, God damn it, they had to have dinosaurs.
Yeah. And the kid, like, he writes his name on the wall of the exhibit of which he thinks is a cave of the cavemen. So he
Yeah.
was like, yes, I'm putting down my name as the first English words to ever have been written ever. People will discover this and worship me as a god. And then the mom is like, what the fuck? It's like,
She's more confused than we are.
yeah, she's actually understandably confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says, sorry, the power went to my head or something like that. Because they get back together, they go back through the time machine. Tom Arnold comes back to life. They meet up. They say like, yeah, we died, met God, came back to life. What'd you do? Oh, we went back in time. Buster cemented himself as a god from the past of some sort. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, all right.
Sure.
So this is I get a little lost here. Somehow they get into a TV studio.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not sure how this happened.
The sender guy had an interview in his calendar.
Oh, okay, right.
okay.
They got that like a little black book. It was like his whatever. His schedule, his calendar.
Yeah.
So he was going to a TV show to promote the new exhibit at the museum. So they go there, and they have there's a bit with Jenny McCarthy was being interviewed by fucking some guy. She was telling this tragic story, and then the applause lights come on, and the audience applauses, and Jenna McCarthy's like, "What? Why are you okay?" And she continues to tell a tragic story, like, and the applause like keep going on, and I'm like, okay, what are they doing now?
That was
And-
funny. Like,
and it was the
maybe it
little
was
girl
like
trying to. Yeah, it was the little girl flicking on the applause lights. because uh, she didn't. I don't know. They wanted to turn the lights on for some reason. She's like, "This light switch's not working."
It was like a comment on like what do you call it, like reality TV and like the Jerry Springer sort of style of like tragedy being entertainment and all that, which I appreciate the film for poking fun at that before it became popular to poke fun at, you know, and to kind of use that sort of like, you know, a tragic American family thing as a scapegoat / punchline. Like I thought that this movie was pretty clever in at least sort of underlining that, even though there were ways they could have done it probably better. I still appreciated the fact that they gave it a shot, you know. So
Yeah, and then yeah, because there was that Jerry Springer ass thing where Tom Arnold was involved in. They were going down the line. They were like they were saying, "What was your backstory?" Some fucked up backstory, like through a few different other people, and they get to Tom Arnold, and he was like,
mostly just involves incest again, you know.
Yeah,
like pretty much just like somebody marrying their grandfather or like somebody
which is
marrying like their niece or
which is
something.
the joke of what Tom Arnold is like, I am my own grandfather.
Yeah.
And then he starts singing some song. Is that a real song or a song that was made for the movie?
It has actual lyrics. It was it was played during the actual credits. So I mean,
played during the credits too, and like
yeah. So at this point, because it was in this movie twice, and because at least one of those two times it played the entire song from beginning to end, I personally would consider it a real song by Tom Arnold.
Oh,
I am my own grandpa.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is actually pretty catchy.
It was pretty catchy. I won't lie. It was. I was trying hard to follow it, but he was going by too fast. It was like, all right, whatever.
Wait, what?
It was really confusing. It was like he married a widow whose daughter married his father, and then his cousin, or no, not his cousin. I don't, you know, never
cousins. There were cousins involved too.
It was like some complicated like family thing that just was like so insane and messed up that it didn't even matter. Like it was just hilarious.
And the fact that it was
Arnold
broken out in song, it's like,
yeah.
Just when I thought they couldn't throw anything else that weird, that happens.
Then Tom Arnold decides to sing.
Yeah, that was wild.
Magical.
Oh my god. So from there, I'm not sure how or where, but
eventually they blow people up. I know that much.
I don't know how they got from that set to the warehouse 21, which was where the arms deal was going down.
Yeah, I think at some point I just was so overwhelmed by all that was going on that it just became
I blinked and missed. How do you know how they got there to?
Yeah, so they saw Tom Arnold on the TV, the army guys, and they sent more people after him. Then they nabbed him, took him to the warehouse. But I don't know how the rest of his family ended up there. Something like that.
I remember there was the other car thing though too.
Yeah.
Where they were trying to turn the car by putting the keys in the glove box lock.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
And the kid said, "Hey, switch places." So they did, but they still try and put the key in the thing.
Yeah, now I'm confused.
Yeah, I think because they definitely somehow drive there because Tom Arnold shows up.
Oh no! Wait.
I mean, there's a couple of different points where something like that could happen, so it gets confusing.
I think that was after they rescue him, because they take Tom Arnold to that army base. Then, because that's where he busts out. With
right. He hulks out.
Okay.
So they follow him being kidnapped to that base. That happens, and then the let's switch places thing happens. I think because they find out about the weapons deal there. That's where Tom Arnold overhears. the location.
Okay.
So
Okay, that makes
then they
sense.
take it upon themselves to go stop it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just got
Yeah, I
lost
mean,
in the what the fucks of it.
it's that makes about as much sense as everything else in the movie. So yeah, I'll go with it.
That whole sequence went by way too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was so much going on at that point, and I was still trying to keep track of what the military guys were doing, and then like just none of the family decisions were making any sense. I mean, it was a really confusing plot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as fascinating as this movie was, there did come a point where I was struggling to follow it.
Maybe they were trying to make the audience feel like the stupids.
I mean, I felt really stupid
by the
when I
end
was
of
watching it.
yeah. So yeah, they're at the warehouse. It's the arms dealing's going on. Tom Arnold shows up to stop them. I don't know, somehow does it.
Yeah,
He basically is just running through the warehouse while people are shooting at him, blow it, and
yeah.
shit's blowing up.
Yeah, well, at one point, like he throws a grenade, or no,
the
he
daughter
does
throws a
something that
grenade.
causes an explosion, and then the daughter finds a grenade and pulls the pin out, and it's like, oh, isn't that a pretty wedding ring? Oh, what's this grenade? I don't need this. And she throws it behind her back, and then 5 or 6 men get blown up.
Yep.
And then like, I mean, I saw a lot of bodies flying.
Yeah, and they couldn't catch him for some reason.
Yeah. Which I didn't really understand either, because it's like these guys aren't
he was just
armed.
running around circles, and they were like, chasing.
And then like every intersection, you just did that weird like this thing like every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the
also-
family. Oh yeah.
And one of them was like when he did that. One of them led to like a traffic car pileup, but of people just like running into each other.
I mean, mostly the family was just running around hiding behind shit. And then
Yeah, they were just running
somehow
around
they
the
caused
place.
the deaths of like at least a couple dozen people. I mean,
Yeah, and then shit. How did the cops arrive eventually?
yeah. And then you
Was it
see a
just
big long
because-
line of people getting arrested, which begs the question, how many people were even inside of that facility? Because how many people died and how many people got arrested? It seemed like a lot of people in both departments. So
Yeah,
I
So I
guess
don't
it's a massive conspiracy.
I don't even know how the cops arrived there. Was it just because there's explosions going on or something, or did
I think
someone?
so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
guess, because at one point they blow something up, and then there's like a firework thing. Oh wait, no, that was earlier in the movie when the Pete Buttigieg guy blew up the building,
Yeah, he
and
was
then
just
there were fireworks for some reason.
no. He had like just a gun, like a handgun. He
Yeah, okay, that's it.
shoots a car and it has fireworks coming out of it. Like,
Yeah, which at the time I thought, okay, maybe they're just trying to be comedic.
yeah.
But then I had to pause and think, what's so funny about fireworks?
So yeah, the cops show up. There's a big gunfight where a lot of more people are dying because I don't know. The main bad guy puts on like his uniform and sacrifices his sidekick, says, this is the guy, it's all his fault, and tells the cops to kill everyone, shoot them all.
Yeah.
While he just drives away. And then that's basically the end of the plot ish, I guess.
Yeah.
The stupids, they return home, but they
Safe and sound.
safe and sound, but the main bad guy is hiding behind a door with a gun, and then he threatens to kill him.
Yeah, which was really disturbing, actually. I have to be
Yeah, and I
honest.
was
I
like,
was like, whoa.
Okay, I was like, okay, well, how is this going to resolve itself? The delivery guy from earlier, from 7046,911, whatever, comes in with the delivery, just knocks him out. Just like,
Yeah.
here you go.
And then before they got home, though, they made Sender repent or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
He's like,
yeah,
are you lost?
Yep. Yeah. They were like talking to the Mr. Sender guy, and they were like, yeah, because he was lost and couldn't find his way home or some shit because he had to get turned
Right.
around because of all the cops.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, just stupid, like saying he's lost, but they were thinking metaphorically. So I can just turn my life around. You just turn around and go straight and take the straight path. That's I was like,
That was so
Yeah.
silly.
yeah. Yeah. And then it ends with I don't remember. So the
More
aliens,
CGI.
yeah, the aliens show up. I mean, well, there's more CGI cat. He's just chilling in the pool. And the aliens show up. How did they die? I forget. Something happens.
Oh
to
yeah,
them.
they did die, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like,
He
Or
was.
they were at least about to die at least, or and then got
Right.
Oh,
beamed back
yeah.
up.
that's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
Tom
they
Arnold
fled.
was on the grill. He's like looking at the bottom of the lighter fluid and sprayed
Oh
them.
right, yeah. He was reading the bottom of the lighter fluid to his kid because he wanted to light it, but he was just spraying the aliens. Like, see, flammable. Do not let children use. But he was like spraying the aliens with gas, and he lights the aliens on fire.
Yeah. That was just I mean, I don't know. I think at that point I tuned out.
I
Just
mean, I
mentally
was
tuned
ready
out.
for the end. I was like, this is
Yeah.
over. It's over. Let's get it done
Yeah. I just couldn't take anymore. I was crying uncle.
with. Yes. Me too. I was like, please be over. Like there was 30 minutes left. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, please be over. No, still 30 minutes left.
Yeah. And it goes into all this crazy stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, then but there was CGI at the end, right? Like the cat or the dog or whatever the hell it was showed up.
Yeah, the cat and dog both showed up. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
exactly remember what they did.
Yeah, they did something.
Made fun of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. And then the credits appeared
Thank
and I
God.
sang hallelujah.
Right.
I mean, this was something else. I wouldn't say it's on the level of insanity as like Freaked or Southland Tales,
hmm
but there were moments where it came close.
Yeah. It was fairly incomprehensible about how stupid they were. It was.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit. Yeah, they're fucking stupid, and they made it work. I don't, because that's really how the plot moved forward. It was just based on their stupidity. So
I thought it was a very, very brave movie because it betrayed, I mean, pretty much everything that you require typically when it comes to like a cohesive plot. It was pretty much just about these people just fucking up
yeah,
every single decision.
hmm
And somehow, it's like Dexter. Somehow, despite how awful their circumstances get, and despite how how deeply they plunge into just pure madness, it ends up working out.
yeah,
And I don't know how it happened. I don't know what happened. All I know is that it was very, very interesting. It was interesting enough for me to even go so far as to say that I actually kind of appreciated it on a very weird level. Like John Landis, I'm not gonna praise the guy or anything like that, but I think that the movie is certainly very interesting, and I actually kind of enjoyed it on a very, very weird level. I laughed at how stupid it was. So
yeah. I laughed
yeah.
more recording this than I did at it, but
Yeah, I did
just because of
too.
Yeah.
just because of thinking through. Because
Yeah.
watching it, you're just like, okay, whatever, okay, whatever. But trying
Yeah.
to explain it and think it through, it was just fucking made it
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much funnier.
I think
I had to. Oh yeah.
I was gonna say the most I laughed was when they pulled up to the TV station or somewhere, they just smashed into another car to park.
Yeah.
That was
Just
funny.
like, holy shit.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I would give it. I mean, I think that it's hard for me to really say whether this movie is good or not, but it was so fascinating to me that I can't really give it anything less than like a 2 or a 3 personally, just because like comedy was so otherworldly and so confusing that I wanted to see how it would end. I don't know. I mean, and also Tom Arnold really brought me through a lot of it, like just
yeah, he
because
was
it's
good.
so funny.
He was
to-
good
to-
throughout.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'd give it a 2.5 myself.
yeah.
Probably, I'm upping the score too after after us talking about it as well. I probably would have just given a 1 or 1 to 2, but 2.5
Yeah.
after us talking through it.
I originally gave it 2.5, but I think I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 3. Yeah, I'll go 3 as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're all on board. It was compelling. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
and like it's hard to really think of other movies that are like it. I mean, maybe other than the 2 that I mentioned earlier. Those are like the 2. Yeah.
I had an idea for like a reboot for this.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of a family, we just get 4 friends extremely stoned. I think that would be hilarious.
Yes.
Same plot.
Yeah.
Can make that work for sure.
Yeah.
So like
Oh, man.
hotcakes.
Oh, this movie would be a blast to watch Stone. Probably.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Let's get 4 friends to watch it Stone. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. It's weird as hell. I mean, I think that and I'm surprised. I'm really, really surprised that I've never heard of this, actually.
I think
When
I
you
had,
mentioned the title. Oh, what?
I think I had seen this before. There was some parts that were extremely familiar. I think I might have like rented this a long time ago or some shit, but
Okay. Yeah. It seems like something that I may have like. I mean, I rented a lot of bullshit. I rented like Johnny Tsunami and like all kinds of stupid crap, But if I had rented this one, I don't even know what I would have thought of it before,
I think it would be harder as a child to comprehend what's going on.
Yeah.
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 You'd just be mostly relying on the gags, I think.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. Yeah, this is definitely not a kids movie. I think most kids are just going to be confused by it. I think kids are going to have an easier time following like the Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas than something like this, which I know we have not talked about that movie yet.
Yeah.
But when we do,
What's that?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you know that they made a sequel to the Flintstones movie? Who
Oh,
knew?
wow.
A sequel? A sequel or a prequel?
Oh, it's a prequel. Yeah. They decided to make a prequel. Check it out.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this movie was very interesting. I'm glad you recommended it. Like I said, I really don't think I'd ever heard of it.
I hadn't. Yeah. It was a
Tom
Google
Arnold.
roulette. I did not
Google roulette.
Did not choose it out of anything other than just blind picking out of a Google search.
Yeah. I mean, John Landis. I mean, after the whole incident, I kind of stopped paying attention to his career. But I'm not going to pretend that he didn't make masterpieces. I mean, American Werewolf in London and The Blues Brothers and Animal House are 3 of the best American movies. I mean, he like as far as like quality goes for the 70s and the 80s, that's up there with like Rob Reiner's work. But I didn't really pay attention. I mean, I know he made Coming to America and like a few other movies, but I stopped paying attention to his career, and I didn't know that he made anything this out there. So, kudos to him, I guess. yeah, it was definitely interesting. And Christopher Lee, even though he really didn't even need to be in the movie, he made me smile.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. R.I.P. So I guess that, I mean, do either you have anything more you want to say?
Oh no.
No.
I think, yeah. I think we've done a pretty decent job of covering everything. I mean, I'm sure there's some other stuff, but it's not worth it.
No, we got it.
All right. So yeah, that concludes our episode. The next movies we are choosing, we've decided to stick to a little bit of an unusual theme. Just kind of out of inspiration for our 420, episode where I decided to choose an odd animated movie. We've decided to choose some animated movies for our next episode. So yeah. So do either of you want to go first, or should I just go with my pick first?
You can go first. I want to
All right.
see if the one you're thinking of is the one I was thinking of, because it sounds
All right.
similar.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, that sounds good. So the movie I picked, and I don't really know necessarily if this is going to be like a good bad movie or just a bad movie. All I know is that it's not very critically well liked at all, and that a lot of people shit talk it, but I want to watch it anyway because I'm curious about the concept. I'm not trying to scare you guys away, but I think it's a French movie. It's called Immortal Ad Vitam. I think that's the title. I'll send you the link if you're confused, but
Yeah, I don't.
yeah.
I don't know
Immortal Ad Vitam or Ad Vitam. Ad Vitam. Immortal Ad Vitam.
Okay.
It's mostly animated from what I can tell, but I think there's some live action. So I think it's a combination of animation and live action. I just want to give it a shot. And I think it's based on a graphic novel. I don't know. It's like a Blueberry type of pick. I'm just giving it a shot. So.
All right.
And originally I was going to pick Bebe's Kids, but I decided I'll save that one for another time.
So I'm assuming this wasn't the one you were thinking of, them.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say Cool World.
Oh, that was with Bruce
Brad
Willis, right?
Pitt.
Oh, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt and Gabriel Byrne and Kim Basinger and, believe it or not, Nicole Kidman, fresh off her success from her debut film BMX Bandits. She makes an appearance in this movie, so can't wait to watch it.
It's mostly animated, right?
Yeah. Is that what we're going with? Are you going with Cool World?
Yeah, I think so.
Word.
I can't wait to rewatch that one.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's like Roger Rabbit. I know vaguely a lot about it because either I listened to a podcast about it or I've seen it.
I've seen it a couple times. It is a fucked up, disturbing movie. And do you know who directed it?
I looked it up earlier, but I don't remember.
It's directed by Ralph Bakshi, who directed Fritz the Cat.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He also directed one of my favorite animated movies of all time, which is called Wizards, which I highly recommend.
I was considering that one.
Yeah.
My backup was also heavy metal.
Oh, I love heavy metal. I actually
It's a good
contemplated
movie,
choosing
yeah.
Heavy Metal 2000, but I decided not to. So I'm not ready for that one yet. But Wizards is actually a really interesting movie. I wouldn't exactly call it a bad movie, but it might actually be interesting to watch at some point. So I would maybe keep that on the back burner. Anyway, but yeah, Cool World, good choice. So
All right, and we're doing CGI, I guess counts as well. Then
it can be CGI, it can be animated, it can be
Alright.
live action animated. As long as it involves animation, it really
it's
doesn't matter.
full. I'm choosing Food Fight.
Okay.
I've heard of that one.
I like the title. I've never heard of it, but I like the title.
Food fight exclamation point at the end.
Ooh, okay. So it's all
It's
right.
I tried because when I saw it, it had. I mean, I we'd have to maybe even check to see if it's on the bottom 100 because
Oh,
it has
Yeah.
atrocious ratings on IMDb.
okay. Okay.
So,
So it's
I mean,
considered a bad movie?
yeah.
Is that one that Red Letter Media did?
I've heard of it. I don't know.
Maybe it was probably on their Plinketto thing or whatever.
Yeah, because I definitely recognize stills and images of it, and from somewhere.
I really need to get back into Red Letter Media because I mean I know them specifically for their Star Wars prequel reviews, which I absolutely loved. And I saw those back when I lived in Kansas, and I thought that those were like internet masterpieces. Like I was like, holy crap, these guys are brilliant. But then I never really watched much of the other stuff that they did, like their movie reviews and stuff, which people have mentioned to me before, like that they review a lot of really bad movies that I would
Yeah.
probably enjoy. But
Best of
Yeah.
the
for some reason, I
worst.
just haven't.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah,
whole series.
I'll definitely like I'll try to find the time to actually explore their stuff at some point.
Yeah.
But
Definitely check out the ones with Macaulay Culkin. They're always fun.
Yeah.
ooh,
He's a fan.
all right,
He
yeah.
shows up in their stuff.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I like Macaulay Culkin more now as somebody who's like kind of an internet personality and like a vlogger and a satirist. I like him more now than I did when he was a child actor. So I'm really I'll definitely look for those. But okay, so food fight exclamation point. Cool
Yeah.
World. Immortal ad vitam. I see. I don't even know how to pronounce the title of my movie, but I know it has the word immortal in the title, so I'll go with that. Immortal. All right, cool. I have a feeling that this next episode is going to be very weird, so
Yeah.
I just have that slight inkling. So
Shit. Shit.
all right, cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a very long episode. We've been talking a lot about the stupids, but I feel like we've managed to reach a point where we can understand the movie at least enough on a basic level. So I think we're okay. You know, we're doing okay. We're surviving. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys want to say or share or mention or?
Nah, I'm good.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
See ya.